All right. Hello, everybody. I want to take you through your tasks for the week of April 27th. All right. So, the usual, you'll find this posted Monday morning of this week, April 27th. If you get to this a little bit early, this explanation will help you work through it. Otherwise, I will see you in class and we can go over that. So, as always, start off by joining the Google Meet. I'm going to ask you to hop into this form, and this is a chance for you to review some of those key terms related to political geography. This is the most term-heavy unit, so definitely a good way to kind of get it started and refresh your minds a little bit. Once you've done that, and again, if you're going to join us tomorrow or on Tuesday, make sure that you're doing this within the first 10 minutes. It's pretty straightforward and quick. This I had already posted on Google Classroom, but here's the link to the preparing for the exam study tips that I gave. I definitely recommend looking through this as it's got some good information as far as like what kind of things should you be going back and looking at, what kind of other things that I've posted that you may not have started looking into that you should go into. And then as you get down into here, like on the extra side, I start clicking around a little bit and showing you some of these things. So if you're unclear what I mean, especially on the bottom where it says Google stuff, it's a good place to kind of check it out and see what exactly I'm trying to ask you to do. So there's nothing for this that's like due or mandatory, but of course we're 2 weeks out from the time of recording this from the exam. You've really got to pick it up. So that's why I included it on the task sheet. Then we're going to dive in a little bit more to federal and unitary states. I think we sort of hit the definitions of these back when we were doing this unit, but we didn't really dive in the way that I would like to do it now. So this is pretty straightforward. Here's a map for you. You're going to identify the federal states and the unitary states that I've selected down here. So, for example, Brazil is right here. It's green. So it's a federal state. So we're just going to type in federal right here. Okay. This chart is sort of a spectrum. Let me zoom in on this for a second. It's kind of a spectrum to help you understand how much either separation there is from the top level of government down to the people, or how much control the government has. So federalism is right in the middle. And it's made up of, it can have either two ways of being a federal state, or that's kind of like France, or a federal union of states. Actually, excuse me, I meant Germany. Sorry, France is a unitary state. I'm talking about Germany. A federal union of states, which is like the United States. So as you get further away from this to the left, this is where states are loosely connected, if connected at all. And as you move further away to the right, this is where you start to get to eventually have one controlling entity. And these we'll talk about in class, where it might sound like there wouldn't actually be integration, but for this system, like in the UK or in Spain, for it to exist, there has to be a lot of control coming from the central government. So once you've looked through that, we're going to come down here. Here's a link to just get a definition and see some examples about federalism. And then afterward, we're going to look at the ideas behind a unitary state. Spain is in this interesting position. There's a lot of people who feel like maybe down the line it'll become a federal state. However, I thought this article is best for us to look at, and I just took some excerpts from it instead of the whole thing. There's 3 excerpts because it helps explain why, or excuse me, it helps explain what makes a unitary state a unitary state. There are certain factors and things that it needs. And then once you're done with that, we're going to come back to here, and we'll be doing this during class. So you should, you don't have to submit anything because we're going to be able to talk about it and go over it. And then at the end, we're going to finish class with another practice for the exam. And this is a good way to review what we've just discussed. So you can click on that. Here's the images, and here's this. I gave you only 15 minutes, even though it's 2 pictures, but it's really just one stimuli, because it's just these 2 points of information. It's not like a map and a picture, or a graph and a map or something. It's really one thing that you're being asked to look at here. When you're done with that, you will submit it to the political geography FRQ assignment that we'll post on Classroom. And then on Friday, May 1st, I'm going to post another Google Forms, and this will ask you to review and learn about the concept of neocolonialism. Again, something we touched on briefly back in about January when we were doing this, but something that I think this video will help you understand it at a much greater depth. Okay, so that's all we got for this week. I will see you guys in the Google Meet. Otherwise, take care.